My name is Lilia. This is my son, Yaroslav. He is 9 years old and has Kabuki syndrome. It's a genetic syndrome. Usually it's a spontaneous mutation. There are numerous internal pathologies of internal organs. In terms of psychospeech development, it's a delay in mental development leading into adulthood. Most likely, it's an intellectual deficit to some extent. And disorders of the musculoskeletal system, that means problems with movement coordination, with the vestibular apparatus. The syndrome is so named because children who suffer from it phenotypically resemble Kabuki theater actors. They have such specific makeup. They use makeup to elongate the eyes, make lush eyebrows. Indeed, all children resemble their parents, without a doubt, their mom, their dad. But if you line them all up, they look similar. What catches the eye are the large, elongated eyes, lush eyelashes, a blunted little nose, the tip of the nose, protruding large ears. Our situations occur in the first few days after conception. Before planning for a second child, of course, we went through everything and specifically tested for this syndrome, and we don't have it. It means we are neither carriers nor sick. We didn't pass it on. It's a spontaneous mutation. Initially, things didn't go very well. My son was born at 32 weeks. Accordingly, since he was born prematurely, we focused on treating neurology. We treated, but the progress was very weak. And our treating doctor, a neurologist, says, "Guys, go look for a genetic cause." Our geneticist couldn't diagnose anything, so we went for diagnostics to another country. We went there when he was 2 years and 8 months old, to a good diagnostician. She met us at the registration desk and diagnosed us right there. "Oh, guys, Kabuki syndrome." A doctor walks by. "Come here, look, Kabuki syndrome." She looks at us, says, "I see it's a spontaneous mutation. You phenotypically do not relate to it." I couldn't believe it. Maybe not. Maybe you're mistaken. She says, "Come here," showed me on the computer, and all doubts were gone. My husband felt relief, but I felt a kind of helplessness. It didn't get any easier. I never felt guilty. There was anger. Anger at the circumstances, why it turned out this way. Allowing for premature birth, mixed with the shock of going from one doctor to another, because one says it's all bad, another says it's all bad. The third says nothing, but you realize it's bad. It took us about 6 months to get our thoughts in order and continue with the treatment. The treatment in general, there's no specific one. The treatment is symptomatic. We treat what hurts. He moved around the house by rolling over, and for about 4 months, I moved his little hands and legs, also forming muscle memory, so he could crawl. And eventually, at exactly 4 years old, he started crawling on his own. We applauded, and he's still crawling to this day, 9 years old now. My husband wanted him to walk. There are quite strong prospects for walking. Yaroslav is now motivated to walk. Now he's getting up on his own, takes my hand, and walks on his little legs. Yaroslav also has a growth delay. He's much smaller than 9-year-old children. We regularly check with an endocrinologist. I know many decide to inject growth hormone. We discussed this issue. But according to the tests, the growth hormone is still within the norm. We will be checking again soon. Currently, he is 108 centimeters tall and weighs 18 kilograms. Developmental delay. This is our main enemy. It's intellectual insufficiency. These children, they are prone to autism spectrum disorder. Specifically for us, it's constant sensory seeking. Now he is at the stage of I love fabrics. Our curtains hang on strong clips. He pulls them down, wraps them around his arms, touches, chews on them. He lacks these sensations. He saturates himself with them. He doesn't make eye contact. His visual contact is quite weak. In communication, he looks more to the side. You understand he is addressing you, but just like that, in a public place, if we go out to a shopping center, to a store, he just closes up, bristles, he doesn't like it. We take music with us because it somewhat thaws him out, and he starts looking around. How do we communicate with him? We converse, talk, give some instructions, commands. Yaroslav is very responsive to emotions. If we scold, then strictly. If we praise, then in a gentle tone, like that. At 1 to 2 years old, he started making some sounds, then went silent for a year. He would start babbling again, then went silent again. He doesn't speak. He utters some babbling syllables, vocalizes quite a lot. It's like he can sing, but this is all vocalization, it's not speech. Yaroslav attends a center for corrective development. We've been going there since he was 3. We've been attending school for a year now, 1st grade. Oh, rehabilitation. The hardest part of these rehabilitations is that you leave home for a long time. For me, it was always a stress. Yaroslav feels good anywhere if he is with mom. I went back to work when Yaroslav was about 1.5 years old. I worked in the IT sector, and my manager, a very good man, I always remember him with a kind word. He always allowed me to work from home. When there were rehabilitations, I just went away, went on leave, like on sick leave. I got pregnant with our younger daughter, then she was born. Probably it's a topic in itself to tell how much strength appeared after the birth of the younger daughter. To move forward, to search for something inspiration. Because the joy from the birth of a healthy child. There was no fear that the same thing would happen. Why? Because we already knew that we, my spouse and I, are not carriers of this mutational gene. The risk of recurrence is exactly the same as the first time. She was a few months old. We planned the rehabilitation. Another one. And just on the first day, my spouse and I clicked that that's it. Enough. We need our own. Tired of traveling? We need our own. Well, certainly we had to go to the bank, got several loans. And just like that, little by little, we still have loans to pay off for a long time. What always bothered me, that I didn't want to leave home, as if we do everything at home. Certainly, only the son really pushed. What normal person would deal with this? Who it didn't affect, I wanted to say, will not deal with this. The main concept of our center is acoustic stimulations, audio vocal training with music, special music, specially processed. It comes with the equipment. It's Mozart here and there, sometimes Gregorian chants. These are well-known pieces, but they are specially processed. We stimulate the ear to correctly transmit information to the auditory nerve and further into the brain. And by doing so, we teach. That is, these are audio vocal trainings. By doing so, we teach the brain to correctly receive, process information. We put our souls into all this, so it truly helps, not just some business, because this can't be called a business. Of course, we foster in our daughter. Not a sense of responsibility for him, but respect. Respect for him as he is. Sometimes even at the kindergarten, she says, "This is my brother, he can't walk." So she isn't ashamed of him, because sometimes he behaves like a small child. Now, even at the playground, children come up, look, and don't understand. They experience cognitive dissonance. Why is such a big boy sitting in a stroller? I try to explain clearly. He is ill. He still can't walk. Kids ask, does he talk? I say no, he doesn't talk. And how do you understand him? They ask such simple questions. In no case do we want to impose on her that this is your cross to bear for life, and when we are gone, you will have to take care of him, that it's her duty. We do everything so that Yaroslav has some care. We'll hire someone. We try to have enough resources for that, to hire someone. Although our relatives are probably of that mindset, that upbringing, that the daughter should care of him, that we gave birth to her as support for him. No, that's not why we did it. Oh, over these 9 years I haven't changed at all. I remained as I was. I can't say that this situation made me tougher or somehow hardened me. I just try to cope with life's difficulties here and now. I've accepted Yaroslav's diagnosis for what it is. We love him as he is, but you probably never really accept that. Perhaps you pity yourself more, that you have such a child, that he is not like his peers. Being a mom of a child with Kabuki syndrome is hard, but we cope with it.